Sergeant Major, I just want to say thanks for what you do and what your message is, not only to young Marines, but young staff NCOs like myself on social media. I know from researching what happened with your situation in the Marines, and honestly, it scares me to think by caring too much, you can be looked down upon. It was absolute BS, man. But I want to say I still see the leadership and the passion you have inside for the Marines. It's in you. I want you to know from Marine to Marine, what was your why and what drove you to become a Sergeant Major. The reason is I'm currently a staff sergeant. I'm a recruiter. After my recruiting time, I want to go drill instructor, and then I'm kind of at a fork in the road. I love the Marines, I love serving, but what keeps good leaders on the enlisted side? Warrant officer sounds great. Commission officer, but I just want to know what your why and what drove you to become a Sergeant Major in the Marine Corps was.
And that is why we do the A to B podcast. Welcome back to the A to B podcast. Okay,
does everybody even know what A to B means?
I don't think so.
Do you guys know what? All right, so it's a, what is it? It's called a double entendre?
Yeah.
Jaime, can you fact check me on that terminology there? Is that it? Okay. So he's Albert and I'm Barry, and Marines, when you go to boot camp, we hear the term A to B. Get A to B right now. And what does that mean? It means, can we bleep? Do we have the technology to like bleep stuff out?
Yeah.
Yeah, A to B means right? So
I've never heard of that one before.
What way did you hear it?
Yeah. A to B, I mean, hey, we got to get from point A to point B.
Yeah, but like when you were in line and your drill instructor was like, tighten it up, A to B. Y'all never heard that?
I'm from Puerto Rico, man. I didn't know what that meant. I was like, okay, good. From here to there. That's what I thought it meant.
All right, let me share. I want to share one more, but that's where we got the name and stuff like that. So I hope you guys like it. One more message I wanted to share. I just wanted to reach out and say thank you, Sergeant Major, for the posts you make and everything you speak on. I'll never forget first meeting you when you checked into 111. I had just come back out of the field, and you were one of my favorite Sergeant Majors and always super motivating. You're a big part of why I still keep pressing forward to this day. I just wanted you to know you made a big impact on me.
Hell yeah.
You know, and I know you get those messages too, and dude, they're so impactful.
For me, they're extra impactful because I don't think I fully appreciate how much what we say really means to people and how they really impact people. You know, I'm here right now and I'm saying all this stuff and I don't really know the impact that it's going to have on somebody else. And it's very gratifying because we go through all our trials and tribulations.
Sure.
And when somebody write those things, it's reassuring to me knowing that we're helping out so many people in their decision making with their lives, with their careers, and all that stuff. That's
why I always put so much pressure on my subordinate level leaders, those company grade officers and those younger staff NCOs, because when a junior service member comes to you, you have to think, how much courage did that take for them even to approach you? And far be it from me to treat them like they're less than, like they're stupid, like anything other than just, you know, I'm not talking about freaking playing patty cake with your young service members, but I mean, it takes a lot of courage. And something simple, that Marine still remembers when I checked in and he was coming out of the field.
That is, yeah.
And how many conversations and things do we say and have in passing as a leader, and you just don't think about it. And it is like,
exactly.
I had a young Marine, he was one of my corporals when I was a first sergeant. Okay. And he messaged me. He just got selected for first sergeant, and I was the reason that he put F on his fit rep. Wow. I got to dig that message up because he was like, I wanted to be a first sergeant when I had to bring 2 of my Marines to come see you. And the way you handled the situation. You know, Marines didn't get NJP'd. You know, things got handled. Marines got held accountable. Wasn't nothing weird. But, you know, because I really look up to, you know, people like General Al Gray, who I've met plenty of times, our 29th Commandant. And one thing he always said was, Anytime you NJP a Marine, you just sent a signal to higher that you couldn't handle it. And I took that seriously, man. You know? And I know there's a stigma out there. Oh, see, you were lucid. We just burn Marines. We want to NJP everybody. And I know there's people out there like that feed that stereotype and don't help it. Matter of fact, I just talked to a lawyer, a military lawyer, yesterday. Okay, when you're a sergeant major or first sergeant, you got to pull Marines in, and it sucks a lot of times. You got to read them their rights a lot. I've had my rights read to me. It's scary.
Oh, yeah.
Every single time, you're nervous. You're on the hot seat, okay? You know what this sergeant major told this young lance corporal who has no idea how the legal system works? You need to be a man and take this NJP. You know that's a crime? That's called coercion, which is what you go over at the very end of reading a service member their Article 31 Bravo rights. So leaders, sergeants major, stop saying stuff like, so what are you telling me? If I don't take the NJP, I'm not a man? That would honestly make me want to punch you in the mouth. That is being real with you, Sergeant Major.
That is what I always, when a service member comes up to me, doesn't matter if you did, it doesn't matter if you did something right or wrong. Utilize your rights. They're your rights for a reason.
Dude, go see a lawyer, man. It don't cost you nothing. You ain't got to be a weirdo about it. Hey, Sergeant Major, I'm not sure. Is it, I'd like to go speak to a lawyer. Is that, whatever. You don't have to go in there like, F you, I want to see a lawyer. It's not you against me. When leaders do that, though, if you don't take this NJP, take the NJP and be a man, or whatever, however you said it, that's a crime. That is literally a crime that senior leader could be charged with.
And let's say that Marine really deserved an NJP, really deserved something higher. Now, because that Sergeant Major said that, automatically, that loophole right there could have caused the command investigation to be dropped because of that.
That's right.
Maybe even if that Marine did deserve it. Or not, I don't know the specific situation, but...
But again, I go back to social media. A military lawyer, okay, an 05, called me. I need your Sergeant Major take on this. I need you to, a sounding board. There we go. Power of social media once again. I was just driving home. I just picked up my daughter and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is how this goes. And then they told me, yeah, this is what the Sergeant Major said. And I was like, ooh, no, that's a bad look.
Well, utilizing the power of social media. And today I want to talk about something a little bit different. I want to play you a clip. And in this clip, I want you to give me your opinion, because obviously the primaries is going to be election year, and we're going to be talking about.
Oh my gosh!
Yes, we're going to be talking about the implications.
Are you a Trump supporter? Wow,
yes.
guys!
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. So I am going to play you a clip from somebody that is trending right now, and I want you to give me your hot take on this video that we are going to watch, which is military related. Jaime. Play it.
What's that?
Why are you against supporting Ukraine?
Because it does not advance American interests, and as the U.S. president, I'm not running for any other role other than looking after the interests of Americans. However, my plan to end the Ukraine war will actually be probably better for Ukraine. At least it comes out with its sovereignty intact.
How so?
Which is not the plan they're on right now. You mark my words, the way this war ends right now, without the U.S. actually stepping in and saying we're not going to fund any more of it, is going to be some post-Zelensky warlord takes over with a couple $100 billion of American military equipment, just like what happened after the Soviets invaded Afghanistan, and you see how far that got.
Vivek, did you? It's
Oh man, that last. So we're gonna break it down, but that very last part was very resounding.
Yeah,
he said some post-Zelensky warlord with a couple of $1 billion
that
of
we
American equipment that we gave them, and we always say. I always say, those who do not know their history are bound to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
That is why that clip is so important to me. Because we did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
We've done it already in the 80s and 90s. So what is your take on that?
I mean, number one, I hate how the reporter tees it up. It's clear that he's against, how do you say his name? Vivek Ramaswamy. He's against him. So automatically I'm like, a little bothered by that. But other than that, like, I agree with him. I don't think we should be. The war needs to end. Ukrainians and Russians are dying. A lot of them are dying. I think it'd be pretty great if that ended. And call me naive. I don't see how it helps our country. I don't see how everybody knows it's pretty damn corrupt. All this money that we're sending them over there, and we can't even send money to Hawaii to help those people. It ended up, somebody did the math. It ended up working out to like $900 per Ukrainian household, but like $700 per, Hawaiian household. We need to get our priorities straight, man. And then I hate to get, weird about it, but and because I don't dive down these Google rabbit holes, but just what I've heard on this whole Hunter Biden laptop thing, like Vivek, for example, has crunched it, or whoever's on his team has crunched the numbers. There would have been more than enough voters that would have changed their vote from Biden to Trump had they known about the Hunter Biden laptop.
Well, I think that's. I will tell you why people are trying to smear his reputation.
Who, Vivek?
In my opinion, yes.
I don't even think it matters.
The reason why he's doing it is because he is not like every other politician that gives you the politician answer. What I really like about him is that you ask him a question,
mm-hmm.
He won't answer it with another question. He won't give you the runaround of the history of behind the question.
Yeah.
He will answer it directly and firmly at the question.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I can't even remember the last politician. I don't think even Trump.
You know why I think he's trending, though? Social media.
100%.
He is out there on the front lines of social media, but here's why I say it doesn't even matter. There is no way the guy doesn't have a snowball's chance in hell to win the primary. Does not. There is no.
Why do you think that is? What do you think that is?
It's former President Trump. There's nobody in the Republican Party that's going to beat him.
Even if Trump doesn't get selected,
he will.
Even if that doesn't happen, I don't think he will still win. And I'm sorry, you cannot tell me. We get wrapped around this whole stuff. The president is just a public figure.
Yeah.
I think about this almost every day. Mm-hmm. If you're telling me that President Biden would have been a good president, good candidate, maybe he would have been 10 years ago when his mind was still sound. Maybe he would have, But now at almost, 90 years old, that guy is just a figure there.
Yeah, but you got to understand that people that voted for him, they don't care. I think there's some Biden voters that have buyer's remorse, but the vast majority, it's all about hating Trump. It has nothing to do with thinking that Biden would be a better president for our country. It has everything to do with people. And that's the tough part for me is, because I'm going to tell you, here's my bold prediction. Trump's going to win the primary, and there's only one Democrat that could ever beat him.
Let's hear it.
Who do you think I'm going to say? Jaime's laughing. Who do you think, Jaime?
Yeah. What do you? I'm just scared of the answer that you're going to give.
Why?
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I feel it's going to be one of these Democrats that have already tried to go against them already and has lost. Please don't tell me Hillary.
Michelle Obama.
Okay, I'm gonna let that sink in. You think
she's likable?
You think she's gonna run?
That I don't know. If she ran, to me, in my opinion, very humble opinion, guys, is the only one that would ever hold a candle to President Trump. She's a woman. Okay. She's black. Her husband is Barack. And I'm going to tell you one thing. There's a lot of Barack Obama haters out there. I've never listened to him speak and not liked it.
That's the problem, though.
I spit it. I'm sorry. I spit. I don't know how high quality these cameras are, but I just spit. Listen, but he's a great speaker.
Yeah, he
Can
is.
you tell me that you
he's
listen?
a great speaker.
You listen to the guy and you're like, gosh, dang it! Like, I honestly kind of want to hug him,
at the beginning,
which is weird.
I think he's
It's not like a weird hug, a side hug.
I think he's a great person. I think he's a great person. He would be one of those.
You
people.
say that like you had him over for Sunday dinner, but you know you didn't.
I would invite him over. Obama, if you ever see this, you're invited.
That's right.
I would sit down with that man and have a beer. I love the way that he carries himself. I mean after the fact, because everyone fell in love. The problem is that I didn't tie one thing to the other. You know when where this happens a lot? In Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
In Puerto Rico, whenever it comes to politics, the same exact thing happens. You know who wins the seat in Puerto Rico? Whoever can speak the best. But they do the exact same thing that the last guy was doing.
They say a bunch of stuff and don't deliver.
They say what you want to hear. And Obama was great at saying
That's kind of what I feel like sometimes when I listen to Democratic politicians. I feel like they're running for class president and they just want to like offer everybody free lunch in the cafeteria.
That's all it is.
And I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is like.
And that's all it is. And that is why.
I will say this. I don't like what President Trump always has to say, but I love what he did for the country.
Correct.
Most Democrats, I love what they have to say. I don't like what they do for the country. And the number one thing for me, and this may be shallow, I loved how President Trump was proud to be an American. Because like at the end of the day, dude, this is my house. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't perfect, but at the same time, hey, dog, don't talk. I ain't talking crap on my own house. Don't you talk crap on it. Let's be a team and fix it and make it better together. And that's how I feel about it. You ain't going to talk bad on your own house. You shouldn't.
Just look at what's happening right now, though, with the economy. Oh, my gosh. On how much troubles we're having if we're heading towards a recession, a housing market crash, which, by the way, I don't think is going to happen. But we're heading to all these things.
If you talk to Governor Newsom, though, he's another good speaker. And he owned Hannity. I saw clips of that on TikTok. He owned Hannity during that interview. He handed him his behind. He made Hannity look like a freaking weirdo on a window licker. And I was like, ooh, that's not a good look.
It's definitely not a good look. But the problem that I see again, and maybe it's because of the part of the society that I represent here in California.
What do you mean, like your ethnicity?
No, not my ethnicity, but the veteran group. The military veteran group. There was a very recent bill that was trying to pass that veterans did not have to pay property taxes if that bill would have been passed. Mm-hmm. If you were I believe if you had 100% disability, you did not have to pay property taxes, which is like that already in Texas. It's like that already in Florida. And it got shut down. So there's still some type of exception if you're 100%, but it's not, you don't pay property taxes, which, let's be honest, the veteran community here in California, you and I are part of the actual economy, part of the economy that moves California. And California,
they're trying to pass a bill in California that makes your retirement tax exempt as well.
But do you think that's going to happen under Newsom? I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think it's going. I don't think it's going to happen. The impact that it would have had, just the veterans.
Probably not, because you think about the money, right? I mean, where are you going to make up that money somewhere else? That's really what you got to ask yourself,
brother. But California, the California economy gets compared against other countries. It doesn't even get. Well, yeah,
because it's like the 4th or 5th in the world for GDP. And so California is not its own country, but it could be. That's why when people hate on California, I laugh, because it's like we subsidize your broke state, your flyover state, Missouri, Mississippi. Dude, we are funding you guys, okay?
Just LA County alone has more people than 24 other states.
It's 40. It's 40 other states. LA County has more people than 40 states in the United States. It's insane.
We're gonna look that up.
Guaranteed.
When I looked at that, it was 24. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's 40 either.
Even still,
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's LA County.
But what do you think does that mean to our veterans and service members are currently in the military right now. Whenever it comes to whether it'll be a Republican candidate or a Democrat candidate taking over the presidency.
What do you mean? As far as like veterans in California?
No, veterans and service members all across the United States.
I mean, Republicans always take better care of veterans. They always take better care of the military.
In what aspect, though? What
you get more pay raises. They plus up the military. We're talking equipment, people, better funding for everything.
Here's what I think it's going, and here's what a lot of people really don't understand whenever it comes to a president. Just to mess around. What I think one of the very first things that President Trump is going to do, or any type of Republican president, is he is going to drop the interest rates again for the housing market. Yeah, that's one of the first things that I think is going to happen.
President Trump will get reelected. He will get reelected. Like I said,
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
You know why? Because there's a lot of people who are hardcore Trump supporters that really feel that he got that election stolen. They want redemption.
I don't think it's going to happen because I think it's clear that it really doesn't matter. You can have the popular vote, or you can even have the actual votes. And if we saw last election, it really doesn't matter. Are you really telling me? And I think Michelle Obama would be a good candidate as well.
See, I got you, dog. I got him. He wasn't ready.
Yeah, you got me with that one.
She's likable.
She's likable. She's already a public figure.
That's why Hillary didn't get elected. People didn't like her. She's stone cold. She's just not likable.
Correct.
She's also shady. You can say whatever you want.
Well, I mean, specifically with what happened over Benghazi, you know, that alone, you know, it's crazy. But yeah, that's essentially one of the things that I think it's going to happen over the next year. Interest rates are going to drop if a Republican candidate gets elected. Yeah. And what's going to happen is there's going to be a lot of people, the floodgates are going to open. And when the floodgates open, our military service members are going to be out of the market completely. Because what that's gonna do is it's gonna push all those, you know, conventional FHA buyers that had been saving up their money to buy a home. It's gonna push them back into the market, and they're going to raise the prices of the homes again. That's one of the first things that's going to happen. Because and guess what? It's going to be great because owning a home is part of the American dream. How do you feel about that?
Some people think that's a scam. Some people think that it's a way to lock Americans into the workforce and loans and banks and all that stuff. I agree with you. I want to own a home. I don't care if it's a scam or not. I want to own a home. Let me ask you some questions. Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. What is the best advice you've ever heard?
Regarding
life. What's the best advice you ever heard?
33% rule. That's how I divide my time. One of the most important things, you can have all the money in the world, but you don't have all the time in the world. So one of the best pieces of advice that I was ever given was how to divide your time in order for you to make the most out of your time. And this is called the 33% rule. Have you ever heard that rule before?
Never heard it.
So the 33% rule is you need to spend 33.3% of your time with your peers. Those are your support group. Those are the people that are going with you at the same time as you, and that's the people that you rely on. 33% of the time should be spent with your subordinates, meaning people that, believe it or not, want to be at the level that you're on. Even if you feel that you're not at a good level, trust me, there's somebody there in the world that is looking to be in the same position as you. And 33.3% of the time should be spent with your mentors, with your leaders, meaning people that you look up to and are going to teach you how to get there. And I will tell you this, because that was one of the questions that I was given in the Instagram, my Instagram post when we were told what do we want to talk about today. And one of the questions that I got was like, how do you connect with good mentors and good peers? And a lot of people, specifically our audience in the military, they feel that their direct supervisor should be their mentor, that their direct, corporal, sergeant, that should be their mentor. There's nothing more incorrect, because what if you have a completely different path or calling that individual is going to be leading you into not maybe a bad place, but a place that you don't see yourself into. And all that doing is it's bringing you back, it's setting you back. So the real way of you is ensuring that whenever you select your mentor or even a peer, you're not going to the corporal next one right to you unless that person it has the same vision as you. What you should be doing is ensuring that you go out there and you actually identify somebody that's doing what you're trying to do or has done what you're trying to do and connect with that person and send them a message.
I couldn't have said it any better. It's, I tell people all the time, man, there's always somebody out there that's done what you're trying to do. You need to find that person. You don't need to try to recreate everything. You don't need to try to learn everything. Find somebody, and it may be in the civilian world. Find a coach who's a resident expert. Invest in yourself, give them your money so that you can borrow their expertise. They can give you an executable plan in whatever you're trying to do. And dude, you just invest that money and that time, and they're going to tee you up to hit home run after home run. I've done that for myself. I know you have as well. And I mean, the sky is the limit. I don't put any limitations on myself. Yeah. And a lot of times when I talk to people, that's what they do. They sell themselves short.
Yeah. And one of the things that I would tell people is to be very wary whenever it comes to not necessarily life coaches, but people that are trying to just simply sell you a product.
Yeah.
Whenever it comes to like selling a product, I mean, hey, this great advertisement campaign that will gain you 10,000 followers or that will gain you 100 leads a day. You have to be very wary because if those things truly worked, they will be utilizing it for themselves and they will be making themselves a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think one of the only exceptions would be like the fitness, because whenever it comes to fitness, you not only need the knowledge, you also need the motivation.
You do?
And I think fitness will be one of the only exceptions whenever it comes to like marketing.
Yeah, but you don't do it for money. You don't do it for money. You don't do it for money. If your end goal, if you're chasing money, you're always going to lose it. Why do I do what I do? I just want to be the best version of myself. I want to be the best man I can be. I want to put that out into the world. I want to add value to people, and I want to see people win. When I'm doing what I do and I'm helping people do that and be better versions of themselves and lose weight, it never feels like work. It always feels like something that's the same way that I feel about real estate. Super passionate about. When I get a text message, but like I said, people sell themselves short. When I'm on these sales calls, I cannot tell you how many times I'll say, how much weight do you want to lose? People will change their answer in their head before they ever give it, because they'll say to themselves, I can't really lose that much weight. I can't really get that guy. I can't really get that girl. I can't get that job. I can't get this. I can't. And I'm going to say, just like my mom used to tell me, with that attitude, you're absolutely right. Stop putting limitations on yourself. Yeah. That's why people hate guys like 50 Cent and Conor McGregor, because they'll sit there and go, I'm the best ever. And then you and me can sit back and be like, no, you're not, right? In our opinion of whatever.
But they believe it.
It starts with the belief.
Yeah.
It starts with that belief. You are never going to be the best until you have to sit down before anyone's ever heard your name and think to yourself, I'm doing this, dude. You don't step in the ring to lose. You step in there to win. And what I tell people, and I'm going to tell y'all, just stop putting glass ceilings on yourself. Stop limiting yourself, because one of the biggest things that holds us back is our perception of ourselves.
And when you stop doing that, you will start seeing that all of a sudden the economics of things are not going to be the issue. I remember when I started in real estate, and my mentor in real estate told me, oh yeah, once you start making 10 grand, 15 grand a month. And I was like, there's no way.
There's no way, right?
There's no way. And then all of a sudden you're going to have $50,000 in your bank account. I'm like, my account has never been past 10 grand. And that's when I got a bonus. Are you really telling me that that's going to happen?
We're getting bonuses.
And then all of a sudden,
you wake up.
I got my I got my first $15,000 check. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I got a $25,000 check, and I'm like, "This is great." Are you telling me that if I just simply help people, and I'm very passionate about helping people, that this will happen?
But wait, I thought you couldn't, make it if you got out of the Marine Corps.
Oh,
right? You'll never make it.
And that
let me scare you into staying in. You're so dumb for staying in,
and
right?
I think that's
getting out.
I think that's what got a lot of my leaders mad and resentful. Not all of them. I would say about 40% of them mad and resentful against me because they saw how much their opinions really didn't affect me because I wasn't telling them they were wrong. I was showing them that they were wrong. And it's not even
you just gotta support your people on their path.
But it's not even that they were wrong. It's just that I decided to choose something different than what they chose. That's right. it. It's not. I don't knock on people for.
Well, for me, I always felt protective of my service members. It wasn't that I never told them you're never going to succeed or you shouldn't get out. What I would do is want to support them on their path. If you're going to get out or you're going to stay in, you make the choice. It's your life. You got to live it. I just want you to make an informed decision. Exactly. And that's it. Okay. That's it. And try to help you along that way and encourage you whatever you decide. If it's not right for you, because the reality is 75% of first time Marines, they get out, man. And it's been that way for the last 36 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not going to change anytime soon. I bet it's similar in other branches. So, leaders, stop telling your service members that talking down on them, talking bad on them.
Oh, and that's always going to happen.
For wanting to get out. It's like, that's not a bad thing.
That's always going to happen. And some people might even if leaders might not be trying to scare them, but it will still be scary to service members because you're transitioning into something that you don't know. It's unknown, uncharted territory. I will tell you this, prepare yourself to the best of your abilities, build up that savings account, build up your finances, and do it anyways. Do it even if you're scared, because there's not going to be no more rewarding situation than you actually moving out from your path and creating your own path. And I look back at situations sometimes and I'm like, man, that was so scary, but that was so rewarding. Some of my most rewarding situations was when I've been the most scared.
Can I give you a scenario?
Go ahead.
Okay, we're putting the leadership hat back on. You're back in the Marine Corps. You're a gunny, okay? And this is one of your sergeants. All right, she's a little bit of a freaking rock star. Okay.
Okay. I have a couple of those.
And her staff sergeant is telling her she's going to get a 6105 or maybe an NJP because she weighed in her PFC so that the PFC could potentially go to Lance Corporal Leadership and Ethics Seminar if they had open seats for an E2. And when the sergeant did the PFC's height and weight with another sergeant a month ago, she passed it. Compared to her height and weight from someone else more recently, there was a big jump. She's overweight, and they're looking at both sergeants as if they lied about the PFC and her height and weight just to get her in school. The sergeant says, but I took her to the gym every day. I helped her. I taught her about nutrition. And then, she started to get complacent. She started drinking. She stopped going to the gym. She was SIQ a couple times, and she's been depressed. And right now they're investigating. What do you think about a staff NCO telling a sergeant, you are getting this? Like, this is, because she called me terrified.
First off, that staff sergeant is probably not getting that information that staff sergeant told her. It's probably not even coming from him. Mm-hmm. It's probably coming from somebody higher than him that told them, well, probably based on my experience, this is what I've seen in the past that happens based on this. But that's the reason why they have those command investigations. I've been part of some of those investigations, very similar investigations. Yeah. And the very first thing that they are going to investigate was that sergeant qualified in order for her to weigh in that Marine? Mm-hmm. Was she appointed by the CO? Because in order for an actual...
You got to be a CPTR.
You have to be a CPTR, and not only be a CPTR...
Which I forget what that stands for.
CPTR. I forgot. Listen, I'm out of the Marine Corps already, okay? So yeah, but yes.
Well, here's my thing, dude. As a staff NCO, you don't have the authority to give a 6105 or an NJP. As a leader, your language should be something like this. These are possible outcomes. I don't know what's going to happen. I need to talk to first sergeant. We need to talk to the company commander, to the battalion commander, to the sergeant, whoever. When I had conversations with Marines, I'd never said to them, and it makes me laugh because there's people out there that will say, you were my first sergeant. You said you were going to NJP me. And I'd laugh because it's like I never use that language. I would always, because I didn't want to lose the credibility as the leader and be like, you are getting NJP'd. And then I go to the company or battalion commander and they're like, no, we're not going to NJP him, Sergeant Major. And I'd be like, ooh, now I look stupid, right?
Okay.
I don't want that to happen. And it's also not up to me, right? So, you know, I would tell the service members, hey, I don't know what's going to happen, but this is, you know.
But there are people out there.
And plus this scenario, it was an 8-pound difference over like, I don't even know, 30 days. Dude, I've seen Marines put on 8 pounds in freaking 30 minutes.
What I really think it's going to happen in this very specific situation, I don't know, for some reason that gives me like supply type vibes.
They're in logistics. They're in the S4. So
go figure.
They're on the command deck. And,
it usually happens with the command deck because what usually happens in the command deck is because she's always around the leadership. It's actually harder to get away with it.
Well, here's my thing is like it is, how do you prove that somebody lied? You need proof. Or
tangible proof.
Or you need an admittance to lying. Without those two things, you keep your mouth shut about stuff like that. Because now, no matter what happens, she don't trust that leader. I could tell you that much. She ain't going to staff sergeant with a damn thing, dog, from this day. So I'm just being honest. And those are her words, not even mine. Like, she's like, no. You know? So, all right. How many times have you used your VA loan? Have you?
I have used my VA loan. I used my VA loan twice as a first-time home buyer. Way too late, in my opinion, if you ask me.
What's good about it? Like, why should somebody use their VA loan versus not? What's the difference?
Well, there's a lot of good reasons why to use your VA loan.
I've never used mine.
I guess one of the questions that I get asked the most is not. I think everyone is under the impression. I think everyone knows that the VA home loan is a great tool in order for you to buy a home.
I know it's a great tool. I just don't know why.
0% down. How much is your?
What does that mean? 0% down.
0% down means that if
I don't have to put any money out of my pocket.
You know, well, zero money down towards
you
the
held
down
up a big finger right there.
Yes, it's because a lot of people are under that impression. A lot of realtors go out there because a lot of realtors that are not in the service, they're used to hearing the 0% down. That's great because they're used to conventional loans and they're used to FHA loans. With FHA loans, you have to put 3.5% down. To conventional loans, you have to put 10 to 20% down. With the VA
so on the down payment, I ain't got to put nothing
on the down payment side, but there's still other things that you have to pay throughout the transaction. Mm-hmm. But if we were to compare with other types of loans, it's barely even nothing. Okay.
How about on a let's say a $600,000 home? What would that difference be, you think?
Well, I mean, believe it or not, I put clients on $700,000 homes in Temecula that they got $25,000 back.
Okay.
Meaning they got paid to buy a home.
Versus a conventional loan.
Well, a conventional loan, you start with equity already. But the difference in between a conventional loan is you have to put that 20% down, regardless of, because that is going to be your equity. That is their protection from the bank that in case that you default on the loan, that
they got a bunch of your money.
They got you. They got a bunch of your money.
Yeah.
If you don't pay that 20% down, then you have to put with something that's called PMI, which
so
is
that $700,000 home, for example, and you said they got $25,000 back.
So
what was their mortgage like?
Here's what happened. What happened was we went out to see houses in Temecula, and we saw a home literally the home that we bought wasn't even marketed already. They were doing an open house. That was like the first day that was on the market, and we went out to see a home right next to it that has been in the market for about a month. That home that we went to see originally was around $720,000.
Yeah.
That other home that we saw was $670,000. Huge difference, right? It's like a $50,000. Yeah, it's like a $50,000 difference. So what we did was, hey, there's an open house right there. Let's go see it. You guys are looking into the neighborhood. Let's go see that one. We went in there. Same exact home. As a matter of fact, even a little bit nicer. And we put in the offer for $670,000. When the appraisal came back, for $705,000. So the $25,000 difference. That is money that they can now use to pay off debt, student loans, vehicles, credit cards, the whole 9 yards.
Okay.
So when you ask me, now this could be done with any other type of loan as long as you know the appraisal is over what you were offering. So this is not something that's just for the VA home loan.
Got it.
I will tell you this. What really makes the VA home loan is whenever there's no perfect time for anybody to buy. My advice to everyone always is the perfect time is when you're financially ready. In this type of market.
See, I like that.
In this type of market, right now, if you have anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 that you're willing to commit towards purchasing a property, you might be ready to become a homeowner. There's other qualifying factors.
So let's say that $700,000 home. What was their mortgage looking like? Do you know?
Yes, I can tell you. So quick math that I'm going to do back then with the interest rates that they were at, for every $100,000 that you take out of the bank, back then that was around $700 of mortgage payment. So 700 times 7, it was $4,900.
That was their mortgage?
That was how much their mortgage was.
That's a lot of money.
In today's market, well, that's what a lot of people say, and I'm glad that you say that. It's a lot of money. But it's a lot of money compared to what? Compared to a $900 car payment? Depreciating asset? Compared to
not all cars depreciate.
Compared to
my 1964 Impala is appreciating because at some cars and their life cycle they get there, and
compared to
but for most people,
compared to a 15 to 19% interest credit card that you have close to maxing out.
Yeah.
Is that what we're comparing that? Because that's what a lot of service members get scared. Here in California, historically, homes have appreciated over 3 to 4% on a year-to-year basis.
Now, let's say I want to buy a home in your area in Temecula. What's realistic for a starting, base price for a home?
What you talk about the medium price home?
Yeah.
Okay, so the medium price home for the Temecula, Murrieta, Menifee area, it's around $650,000 right now, and
that is crazy, dude. I remember when it was more like 250
back in 2012. You ain't gotta remind me. That's my heart, because that's my heart because when I was a corporal, and here's why I feel the way that I feel. And I was going to ask you this. How do you feel? And Jaime, get the clip ready of Barbara Corcoran. Cause we're going to play that clip here in a second. And I want your opinion on this. But before I want your opinion on this, what do you think of a junior service member? First contract. Let's say Lance Corporal to Corporal. Mm-hmm. First term Marines buying a home. What is your honest opinion on that? Should they do it or should they not?
I mean, I agree with you. Are you financially ready? Because the financials is a humongous piece.
Yeah,
that holds people back.
Well,
and junior service members make terrible financial decisions. That's what they do.
Even I will tell you this: a first-term Marine, even if they make good financial decisions, the problem is that they have, in my experience, is that they have unrealistic views on what they want to buy. They want to buy the house, a 2-story house with a 2-car garage and a big backyard.
And you're like, ooh.
And then I'm like, well, maybe if you're doing military, believe it or not, dual military, even if you're a PFC, 2 PFCs, or a PFC married to a Lance Corporal, you can probably get away with it. It's going to be probably at the top of your budget, but
PFC Major and Lance Corporal, did they both work in S1? I'm so sorry, S1ers.
So that it can probably happen now.
They work in Motor T.
If you're a Lance Corporal that is just that simply has a wife, and the wife might not work or might have just a regular job, that not up there, most likely you're not going to be able to afford it.
Got it.
But let me ask you this. What Lance Corporal can? Mm-hmm. Very few of them, believe it or not. I found a couple of them that get like paid, what's this called? Money from their family, inheritance money, and all that stuff. They, believe it or not, they're going to be able to afford something like that. But that's a very case by case basis. I would ask you who do you think is better qualified, a corporal or a gunny to buy a home? Who do you think is better qualified?
I want to say the gunny.
You want to say the gunny? What if I tell you you're wrong? What if I tell you I've had gunnies that only get pre-approved for like $450,000, and I've had corporals that get pre-approved for $650,000?
How's that possible? Because gunnies are a wreck?
Because everyone's finances are different. That's the assumption that we make, and that's an assumption that a lot of senior leaders make. Oh, well, gunny's ready, but corporal is not ready. And then they convince those corporals that they're not ready when financially they are. And that's a huge issue of the educational piece that comes into what I do. Be like, hey, listen, I don't know if you're ready or not. I don't know. Just because there's not a blanket that just simply covers. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, you're a corporal. You just got promoted to sergeant. Now you can buy a home. No, it doesn't work like that. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't work like that. But I want to show you this clip.
Got it.
Because this is a very important clip that's going to happen. And I want to show it. This is Barbara Corcoran. She is a real estate mogul, also known as Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. Okay, so the way that she made her money was through real estate. Jaime, play the clip.
House prices are not going to come down. I believe that when the real estate interest rates come down, when the mortgage rates come down, all hell's going to... Oh, you're not supposed to say that.
It's morning television, not being on Shark Tank.
Every buyer on the sideline is going to jump into the market as long as the interest rates come down to 5 or 4%, and houses are going to go up in price all over again. I wouldn't be surprised if they go up by as much as 10 or 15% when that happens.
Oh, wow. So what advice do you have for people who want to buy a home now, first-time
home buyers? You have to adjust your horizon. You have to adjust what you're looking for. It's not an easy thing, especially when you know your neighbor has bought their house at a cheap interest rate at a lower price than you're getting. But you have to make that adjustment. You also have to shop for a mortgage rate. People don't know, if you go to your main bank, they will usually give you, as a banker at their institution, 1/4% off. Doesn't sound like a lot, but at least it helps.
Mm-hmm. Those starter homes, not what they used to be at.
So what do you feel about that? Specifically,
it makes me want to buy a house.
Well, specifically,
and like expectation management, like you said, I mean, I'm financially doing great, but at the same time, what works for me. Okay. And I don't feel like I need like a mansion, but just expectation management. It does make me want to buy a house because it is exciting to think that that's a real possibility that could happen. And those, the prices of homes that jump, what'd she say, 10 to 15%? That's insane.
Yeah.
That is,
believe it or not, that's how much
15% of $700,000.
That is how much 17% here in California. That's how much prices increased from 2020 to 2021.
That's insane.
Yes. So let me give you my prediction. You gave me the prediction about Michelle Obama. So let me give you my crazy prediction. My crazy prediction is when interest rates drop below 5%.
What are they at now? 7 something?
There are 7 to mid 6s. Yes, and they're scheduled to go up to quite possibly 7.5%. When interest rates drop to the below 5%, the floodgates of the real estate market will be open, and our military service members and veterans that are going to be trying to utilize the VA home loan will be priced out of the market. So my suggestion to you that is looking to buy a home is either prepare yourself, start saving up at least $25,000 to $50,000 to overbid on a home if the interest rate drop, or consider buying a home or getting pre-approved right now, because if you get pre-approved right now and you get into a home right now, your interest rate is going to be locked in for the next 30 years unless you refinance.
Yeah,
into
but
a lower
isn't
interest
that
rate.
all predicated on the buyers flooding the market? If that didn't happen,
That will happen. That will
yeah, but
happen.
I'm just saying. But if it didn't, though, then that would.
That is the same thing as saying. Well, the interest rates.
I love your voice right now.
Yeah, the interest rates are high. That means that
His eyebrows are so high right.
That means that home prices should be going down.
Okay. All right.
That's not happening. That's
Okay.
not happening.
All right. Okay. What was your experience like in boot camp?
My experience at boot camp.
You went to Paris Island, so it was like Candyland.
I really don't have a pleasant memory of
What's your first memory?
my. Well, let me give you not my first memory, but I'm gonna give you the one that is the funniest and I treasure the most.
Got it.
So my dad was a Marine. He was in the Marine Corps for 16 years. Then he went to the Navy. I forgave him a long time before that. And he sent me.
We love the Navy too, guys. Come on. Don't drop the soap.
He sent me a full box of Icy Hots, like the miniature packages of Icy Hot. And of course, if you get a big package, you have to take it into the duty hut, so that way your senior drill instructor scans through it, make sure that you have no contraband or anything like that. And my senior drill instructor and my J-Hat went and told me, take this package of Icy Hot and take it to drill instructor Staff Sergeant Lopez and say, receive, sir. So I looked at him.
Like, do I really? Am I getting set up
That's
here?
exactly. No. I was like, do I really? I looked at him, of course. I wasn't going to say anything, but I looked at him and was like, do I really have to do this? And they start blasting me like, go, whatever. So anyways, I go. I do the whole spiel. Recruit Ramos, required permission is picked to drill instructor Sergeant Lopez, sir. And then he goes, what?
Yeah.
And I go, receive,
Like a bear.
sir. He said, receive, sir. He opens his eyes. He grabs the Icy Hot from his hand, opens the box, rips the freaking cap off, and goes, open your mouth.
Wow. Open your mouth.
And then
only in Marine Corps recruit training.
And then that's when my senior drill instructor, Gunnery Sergeant Boyd, I still remember his name, goes out of the duty hut and goes, Ramos, run! The drill instructor, Staff Sergeant Lopez, threw the Icy Hot at me, and I had my full camis back there, and then he screwed with me for like a week after that.
Wow.
That is a fun memory that I have. I was also so proud that I got selected. You know how you get like recruits are in third phase to go back to first phase and show what an IT looks like?
Yeah.
You remember? So I was selected to be one of those because I got IT'd so much.
You were a pro.
I was a pro.
For those of you that
IT'd.
don't know what IT means, it is incentive training. And it's physical exercise that drill instructors administer to recruits to incentivize them doing things correctly.
Incentivize is a
like
good word.
not touching their face, speaking correctly, getting loud, having their footlocker locked in on zero, shoe displays aligned.
And the whole 9 yards.
Your rack made properly. That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. What else you got?
Okay. Do you regret joining the Marine Corps?
Not at all. Not at all. I don't regret joining the Marine Corps. The Marine Corps taught me a lot of good traits that I still cherish and take to this moment. Now, what I do want to do though, I know that very recently you were the subject of a debate online.
I was?
With this guy that I don't know who the hell he is, but I know his name is Tom on social media. And
oh my God,
there was a huge subject of debate, and of course he took to social media with the whole like, oh well, is this the same guy that got caught with breaking and entering and all that stuff?
Yeah.
And then obviously it went back and forth. Can we play the clip with Tom? That is not the one. No. Nope. Yeah, that one. Yeah, let's see let's see what he has to say, and I wanna know your take on this clip right here.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's 6 minutes. So
Oh,
is it?
Shoot.
is there a specific
Oh, that's weird.
this rope?
I mean, let's. What part about that do you want to play?
It don't matter. We can just jump in anywhere.
Yeah, let's jump in anywhere. Just play it, and then we'll dissect it as it's going.
Okay.
Good morning. Now I already know that this is gonna, get a lot of hate and stuff, but at this point I really don't care. Don't be mad at me for sharing this. Be mad that it's gonna work and it's true.
Yeah.
So in the military, especially the Marine Corps, there is a real life exploit. And to sum it up, it's if you do the absolute bare minimum, you are going to have a very easy and relaxed and comfortable career in the military.
I don't know.
Versus if you're like an extremely hard worker and you're proficient at your MOS, like you're good at your job, and you're just going above and beyond, you're probably going to get screwed over a lot, and you're probably going to end up hating the organization, which isn't what you should do. Don't hate the organization. The organization has some flaws, yes, but it's the people in the organization that you should, dislike. They're the ones ruining it for the rest of us. So boom, right? You want to live a comfortable life. This is all you got to do. Do the bare fucking minimum. Formation is at 0530. Pull up at 0529 and 45 seconds. You're on time, bro. And anyone who says you're not is fucking lying. NCOs cannot give legal orders. They can only give instruction. So if you get anything with a piece of paper that says you disobeyed a legal order from Corporal Shithead or fucking Sergeant Dickhead,
I think we've seen it.
it's not.
I think we've seen it.
It's just bad advice.
Yeah.
It's bad advice. Have you ever heard anybody who's successful tell anybody else to do the bare minimum?
Definitely
no.
not.
And I know Tom's out there doing good things and he's living his life. He makes money.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I wouldn't give my kids that advice. I wouldn't give another person the advice. I will give him credit because he brings up a lot of great points.
Yeah.
It is valid what he's saying that you can get away with doing the bare minimum. The caveat is that only applies to the first termers. Okay, you ain't scraping by because a lot of competitive MOSs out there.
Well, that's
you
his
will
target
stay a
audience.
Lance Corporal.
That's
you
his
will
target
stay
audience.
It is.
Yeah.
You'll stay a Lance Corporal, and then you won't be able to re-enlist and all this other stuff. So,
well, it's just that the definition of easy that he's using is very temporary. Because, you will have an easier, but as soon as you get targeted, as soon as you put that label on your forehead that says, I'm the lazy one, I just want to get by, I just don't want to do this,
I don't, where did he get that orders thing, though?
I don't know, because...
Show up at 5:29?
Because I know that...
What is your promotion where it says, I require all personnel of lesser grade to render obedience to appropriate orders?
That automatically makes it a lawful order, and that is a lawful order. There's a lot of dumbasses out there though that take that way too far though. I will say
there is 100%.
Yeah.
If I was watching that video and let's just say I was a service member and I wanted to take Tom up on that, I'd go to formation, do what he said, and then talk back to my leadership when they said, "Oh, you're late." I'd be like, "You can't do this and you can't do that
because Tom told me."
You look at this video, and it's like it's kind of a setup, you know.
Yeah.
I just would tell people this. Give your best effort because you're a best effort giver.
Yeah.
Be respectful. People always, that's why I hated when I heard people say that. You got to earn my respect. I used to say that, and I don't feel that way. There is nothing out there.
You used to say that people needed to earn your respect?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. I threw that out years and years and years ago. Respect is not something that's earned, and I would turn it on its head. If it has to be earned, and let's say I'm your sergeant major, if you don't feel if I don't feel that you've earned it, I can walk in the room and just say whatever I want and look at you and go, "Hey, that's your rule. By your logic, I don't have to respect you at all. How's that feel?" And you're going to have staff and CO. You'd get fired for doing that. Because that would be an extremely toxic environment. You're not going to be, disrespecting people. Nobody should be treating anybody like that at any time. So this whole like,
and that's what I feel was his experience, though. I feel that his experience was not a very good one in the Marine Corps, and that's the reason why he has that mentality. It was because he was probably I can guarantee not guarantee.
Well, first of all, he saw the Marine Corps from down here.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is he probably was one of those guys that joined the Marine Corps super motivated, wanted to do.
He was like the guide,
things.
I think, for his platoon and recruit training.
He wanted to do great things in the Marine Corps, and I don't know. The first time that I heard about him was when all that stuff was blowing up over social media, but I can guarantee. And then somebody did him wrong. And he saw the reality of what, or the other side of the organization.
I'll say this about Tom. A lot of what he says is right, and it is true. There's a ton of stuff I could go, that's right, that's true, that's right, that's true. But, there's a way to deliver a message. And it's like, just because something's true, it doesn't mean I have to give it this like negative spin.
Or it doesn't make it right.
It doesn't make it right all the time. And it just, if you woke up and your wife's breath smelled like crap, you wouldn't roll over and be like, were you sucking cat turds all night? Like what, because you probably get slapped in the face, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that would be a weird question, but just, I don't know if you guys like cat turds, but still, you wouldn't say that. Like you'd be like silent, right? No one's going to go in there like just a freaking wrecking ball because stuff is true.
And I will say this, and with this, we will conclude the podcast for today. But we made the A to B podcast in order for us to talk about and bring trending topics like this. We will have a conversation. What we are also open is having a conversation with those people that we're bringing in. I feel that it's only fair that we
let's get somebody on here.
That not only that we talk freely of how we want to say here in the podcast, but also afford those people the opportunity to talk for themselves. Not only over.
And if you're currently serving and you want to send in something anonymous, we will keep you anonymous.
Yes,
we'll read your message. I won't be like Corporal. Last name starts with a B, ends with ULL in 2nd MLG, 8th, ESB. Whatever. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that I would tell you guys. If you guys want us to bring somebody in, or if you guys want us to talk about a specific topic, let us know, because we want to talk about relevant things that apply to you, the person or the people that are viewing our videos. And we do it out of the bottom of our heart. So thank you guys for watching. Barry, where can they find you?
IG, Instagram, @Bull5277, TikTok, @Bull5772. Hit me shoot me a DM, drop a comment. You know the deal. Subscribe, like, follow. That's what it is.
And if you're trying to get a hold of me and you want to know more information about real estate, go ahead and reach out to me, and I will 100% hit you up and get you on the right path for home ownership. Go to the link in the bio and we can schedule a consult. I'll see you guys in the next one.